Hello folks, Peebo here. Today I wanted to talk about catfish. There's been some things about catfish I wanted to share with folks. And the Ictularis punctantis, scientific name, the North American channel catfish. Now we're not going to get too scientific here because this is the Peebo show. I wanted to talk about something important, how to know what kind of fish you've got. If you've got a channel catfish or if you've caught a blue catfish. Because I think there's some confusion about this. Now, I want to put everybody in the know about how to tell the difference between a blue cat and a channel cat just at a glance. It's really easy to do. First of all, they talk about it's all about the anal fin, and I'll explain what that is in a minute. First of all, these ain't they're down there on the belly, and if a fish has 29 bones or more in their anal fish, it's a blue cat. If you have 29 or less, it's a channel cat. But I tell you, I just can't be bothered with counting the bones on a fish. I've done that. It aggravates me. I lose my place, and I don't think it's a real good way. Now, there's an easy, quick way to do that. I'll just draw you a picture of the difference between the blue cat and channel cat, and you'll be able to tell it every time at a glance. Let's just make a fish's tail here. Everybody can see that. There's a fish. Now the anal fin on a channel cat is rounded like this right here. It's kind of rounded. Now if that was a blue cat, it's not rounded. It's straight like this right here. That's a blue cat anal fin. Now you can see that at a glance. It's just as plain as day. And now that you know that, you'll never have any more trouble identifying a blue cat from a channel cat. You can't go by the color. Besides that, they're not blue anyway, they're gray. So I'm gonna get that straight. But if you want to call them blue, that's fine. I had an old gray cat we called Blue, and I've seen a lot of gray dogs called Blue, and I guess fish aren't any different. But the anal fin will clear this up, and you'll be able to tell at a glance what kind of fish you've got. There's another thing that I don't know how important it is. Probably not important really at all, but in a way it is. Is what the sex of your catfish that you catch is, male and female, and I can tell at a glance whether that fish is a male or female. When I say at a glance, it's probably a little harder than that, and I sometimes make mistakes. A lot of times in my videos I'll say, oh, this is a male or this is a female. Well, I watch these films too, and then I look at it later as, oh, Peebo, no, that's a male, and you just called it a female. So I've caught myself making mistakes. It's not the easiest thing, but the mouth of the catfish and the head of the catfish, the color, and the dorsal fin are the best indicators. You can look at the genitalia of a catfish and be real confused. They say the female catfish has 2 holes, the male has 1. Well, it ain't so easy when you're looking. And my eyes are kind of bad, and there's easier ways to do it. One is the mouth of a male catfish will be a lot bigger. It'll be stronger. Their head will be wider and larger, and again stronger. And the older the fish gets, he'll have 2 big muscles, 2 big humps on his head. I've got a good example for you of a male catfish. Let me show you this. This is a fine example of a catfish. This guy's a trophy. Caught him down at Lake Monroe. It's a big male, and he's older. You can also tell the age of a fish just by looking. And we're going to show you a fish. He weighed 6 pounds. Caught at Lake Monroe, and this is an old male. He's a real champion. If you'll notice, this fish has big humps on his head. His mouth is wide, and when you get them big bumps on the head, it almost looks kind of like a duckbill nose. That happens when the fish gets older. A male getting older will have that look to him. Notice how dark he is. The channel catfish will get a little darker with age, but he's got them great big humps on his head, and that is just a classic look of a male catfish. Well, now let me show you a female catfish, and you'll notice that the head is smaller, not as wide, doesn't have them big muscles, bumps on top of the head, and the mouth is significantly smaller, more streamlined. Let's have a look at that. Well, did a nice job on that net there, Rob and Julia.
Thanks, babe.
Let's see if we can get this hook out of this guy.
That was easy.
Yeah, cooperating.
Look at the bellies on them things. They're really eating good.
Nice one right there.
Yeah.
Oh, 2.9, maybe. 2.8, 2.9, right in there. Pretty nice catfish, right there. Yeah, a nice fish. That's another female catfish. All right, well, let's let her go. Now here's a look at that very same fish again, but it's a little different angle, and I like this angle because it shows the anal fin, what we just talked about. Now you look at that fish and you see how the anal fin is shaped. It's rounded. This is a very good example of what I was just talking about, the rounded anal fin, which will identify a channel cat from a blue cat just at a glance. There's just no question what that fish is when you judge it by the anal fin. And folks, I want to talk about the channel catfish's nesting characteristics. Now, this is the most important thing that I might have to say today, and I'll start with channel catfish do 2 things. They eat and they make babies, and about everything they do relates to those purposes. First of all, you may be surprised to find that it's not the female catfish that raises the babies. It's the male. He does that, and he has to fight for it too. And that's one of the reasons why they have them big muscles on their heads, is to bite other fish and just be mean. so they can protect the nest. Um, Talking about nests, catfish don't make nests; they find them. The male catfish, he does most all the work. Um, he'll go find a nest, uh, and let's talk about a little bit about when he does that, because that's important. I've been told that when the water temperatures reach 70 degrees, it induces the male catfish um, to begin nesting. Females probably got a keen sense of that too, and he'll go find a nest. Uh, it's been my observation and experience, and particularly at Lake Monroe here in Indiana, um, about 75 degrees, they'll really become uh, actively spawning or nesting. Um, let's get to the chase. The male catfish will find a suitable nesting spot, and what they want is like a hole where they can um, protect an area under a stump. Um, Nesting spots are probably hard to find in certain waters, but um, the male will find a nest, and then he'll stay right there. He stops feeding altogether, and a female will come to that nest, and if she likes the nest, she likes him, she'll put her eggs in that nest, and then he'll fertilize those eggs, and he'll stay right there guarding them. Other fish want to come in and eat that, and he defends the nest. Now, the female leaves the nest, but she don't go real far away. I've heard they kind of stick around the area and help him out a little bit, chasing away the predators. But the daddy fish does the child care job. Another thing I wanted to mention about channel catfish in regard to ponds. A channel catfish don't successfully reproduce. I mean, they go through the process of spawning and all that, and the little fish fry hatch out, but they won't successfully reproduce, meaning that the fry get eaten just almost immediately. If you've got bass in your pond, they'll eat every one of them. it won't take them long. I've heard that catfish fry will tend to ball up like a bait ball and go off in the water, and the bass will just eat them all. But that wasn't what I wanted to talk about. What I wanted to talk about was how the catfish spawning relates to fishing. In the springtime, when the water begins to warm up and the fish become active, that's called the pre-spawn period. That would be in May. May is probably the best time of year to catch catfish. They're coming out of winter, they're hungry. Particularly these males, these big males, are wanting to fatten up for the spawn, because they're not going to eat for a month. And that's all the fish. Spring's good for fishing, everybody knows that. But let's see, along about after, say, June the 10th, a lot of your fish will be spawning. These big males are on the nest, and you're not going to catch them. You just won't catch the big males after, let's say, June the 10th until probably the middle of July, and that's the spawning season for channel catfish here in south central Indiana. I want to mention that not all catfish spawn at the same time. Some will spawn early, some will spawn later, but you'll find that 75% of your fish are on the nest in the 3rd week of June. It's probably right in the middle of it. And that's the period in which they spawn. So during that period, you're going to be able to catch mostly females. Most of your catfish will be females. And then right after the spawn's over, middle of July or so, yeah, middle of July, 3rd week of July, spawn's over. These big males are hungry, and they come off the nest and they want to feed. You can catch them about anywhere, but last year I was really surprised to find that I was catching these big males out on a flat. That big male we saw in one of the pictures today, I think I caught him on a channel ledge in the Crooked Creek arm of Lake Monroe. But I was finding big males out on the flat, and I was surprised to find them there. But I haven't forgot that, and I'm gonna fish in flats for big males right after the spawn, which would be around the let's say the middle of July or 3rd week in July. These fish come off hungry, and I think the title of that video was Lake Monroe Channel Catfish Are Mean. And yeah. So, and I want to say it again, that these channel catfish don't all spawn at the same time. And your spawning season in south central Indiana, say the earliest this is going to happen would be, say, June the 1st. And the latest that you're still going to have big males on the nest would be the end of July. So you've got 2 months right in there that 100% of the fish that are spawning, that excludes the adolescent fish, are going to do it in June and July. So and if you got a keen sense of that, it'll help you strategize and target your fish. I've learned a lot from it. So anyway, that's pretty much what I wanted to share with everybody today about the difference between blue cats and channel cats, and males and females, and their nesting and spawning behaviors. So I hope this helps you. I want to thank everybody for watching. Like, subscribe, and leave me some comments. And remember, yay for fishing!